You're watching Global News Morning on Global Kingston. Good Wednesday morning to you. Thanks for joining us here on Global News Morning. Please join me in welcoming Matt Lee here to talk about real estate issues that you should know about. And we're talking about the price of a property. Where do you begin?
We're determining value. Right now, we're going into another busy market. I mean, the spring and fall that I talk about. Basically, you have these two really busy markets. As soon as the Tuesday after the long weekend hit, we had calls and emails hitting. People are getting back to reality and that normal life. So we're starting to, we're getting out there. We're pricing stuff. I'm going out and basically. It comes down to every individual property and how do you break it down?
Well, you have years of experience. I guess there's 4 or 5 different factors in determining the value of a home.
Yeah. So
break it down for us.
So we're going in through pricing, competition, timing, and the value itself and location.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's and then the price itself. When you get into the market, then you kind of go and say, okay, this is where we need to be. So the location itself. It comes down to, is it a waterfront property? Is it a midtown property? Is it in a smaller community? All of these things are going to determine the different value. So seasons, the shape of the property, basically, like if you're looking at it and saying, okay, we're basically saying that is it an older home or is it something that's renovated? Are we looking at these different things? It really determines when you're walking in, what does the condition of the house look like? So, so timing, pricing, location, condition, these are all main things that you need to look at.
We always hear location when it comes to real estate.
Sure.
How does the seasons affect the value of a home? I mean, if you're going to go look at a home in the winter, you can't see the roof, you can't see the yard, it's got snow all over.
Yeah, in the past, this year and last year, the competition has still been there a bit because we're low on supply. We've talked about this many times, but normally there isn't as much demand because people are saying, okay, well, it's a bit of hibernation. I mean, in our climate, in our area, you can get down to -10, -15, -20, and it changes the way that people work when they're doing the real estate. They're basically saying, I'm not going to list until the snow's gone off the ground, which is very normal. It's one of these things that we look at that's why spring and fall are the busy markets.
Right. And then the summer people are away.
And then, summer, you're getting people where they're having vacation with family. So we get that. So I think that's one thing about seasons. Condition. When the fixer-upper TV shows come out, everybody thought, I can fix this. I'm going to buy a fixer-upper. My personal opinion is that we've done a major 180.
Well, I've heard the theory, a lot of these fixer-upper shows, people think they can make a quick buck by doing a flip, is a lot of those services are donated for the TV show. A lot of those elements that go into a home, maybe a new chandelier, maybe flooring, are donated for the TV show.
Well, and the thing is that they're contractors. Like they have a contracting background, so the thing is they know how to set it up, so therefore the flooring will flow evenly, or they're doing drywall themselves and they're doing these things and they're extremely hard. So I think that there's been one of these things. I think life is very fast right now. I think that we run into a technology era, and I think that people are saying, I don't have time to fix this. So I think that condition, even though you're paying more and you look at the value, I think that those houses, a turnkey, allow you to go and do the job that you're doing. I think that we see that's more desirable to people right now.
Okay.
Personal opinion.
And location, of course.
Location.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, if a house is on the waterfront but it's on the backside of the street, the two lots are going to be totally different. I mean, you could have a waterfront lot that's $600,000-$700,000, and the backside lot could be $150,000 or $200,000. So then all of a sudden, you're before you're even building the house, you have a totally different value on the property. And that's just land alone. So I think that that's the easiest way to determine on a single street and not pointing out individual areas. I think that is one of those things that it's like location. If you're downtown and you have a small spot but you have a parking spot and it's walking distance to everything, I mean, that might be different than if it's midtown, because then they're going to have to figure out if they work at the hospital or work at Queens or work downtown. They got to figure out parking.
It all factors in.
It all factors in. So all of these things, it's location, location, location. And then you go into price and determining. You know, you have to make sure that if you're pricing the property properly, you're going to have a good amount of demand for people coming in and wanting to see it, because we have a low supply. If you price a property and nobody comes in, then you have to look at it and say, okay, I got to reevaluate and what's going on here. Do the pictures not look right? Is the write-up not right? Or is the price wrong? Those are the things you got to look at. So I think that personally, when we look at those things, you want to make sure that professional photos are done, the write-up looks great, and then you can kind of zero in.
Just science, isn't it?
You just basically break it down.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Matt Lee.
Yeah, thank you.
Real Estate Tips, brought to you by Matt Lee of Royal LePage.